Uchikta! Welcome everybody to the Kamen Rider Fourze review. So yeah, it's my first Kamen Rider review. Hope you enjoy it. Let's get down to business. So what's the plot? So there's this high school in Japan, Amagawa High. It's a normal high school, what it looks like. But then you realize that their students are turning into monsters known as Zodiarts. Monsters who are based off any certain constellation in the sky and uses evil astro switches. This year's toy gimmick! But just when you thought all hope was lost, a light shines. And from a distance you can see a dude in a giant pompadour. That guy is Kisaragi Gentaro. And together with his crack team of misfits teenagers, they formed a team known as the Kamen Rider Club. And with the power of Kamen Rider Fourze, aka Kisaragi Gentaro, no Zodiarts won't stand a chance. Or will they? Once the 12 arrive. When the 12 arrive, it's up to the team to stop them before Gamu could, I guess, collect all switches and bring about the destruction of the planet. Yeah. I like the plot. That's a good plot. That's a good start. Let's go into characters. So we got Kisaragi Gentaro, Kamen Rider Fourze. Gentaro as a character is bright. Not like smart or anything, but he's a bright shining light kinda. He has a warm fuzzy feeling to him that you kinda do have with other riders. But he's a lot more lovable than say Tsukasa. Let's put it that way. We're putting him into a comparison with Decade, he's a lot more lovable than Tsukasa. But I like Edgy way better. Edgy seemed more human. So Gentaro is Kamen Rider Fourze, the hero of justice. And this guy is apparently a rebel without a cause because basically almost all faculty seem to bitch at him about his uniform, which he doesn't wear. But don't worry, once like in a later part of the show, it kind of reveals that the uniform policy don't mean shit. More on that when we get to pros and cons. Gentaro's character is more of, I want to become friends with everyone, so I'm going to stick my nose in personal businesses, but that normally personal business involves Monster of the Week, and I gotta fight him being Kamen Rider Fourze. He's also one of the few writers that don't really care about his secret identity. He's more like, I gotta do it right now, let's do it. You'll understand why I say this when we get to Risei. As for development, his development went from I'm going to become friends with everybody in the school to I'm going to befriend all the other writers to I'm going to befriend a satellite to I'm going to befriend aliens. And possibly date one. And maybe have my student be a mutant. And meet myself from 5 years in the past. That's pretty much where he stands as a character. He's bright, he's big. He doesn't really have too much flaws, but god damn, that guy has a lot of energy. It seems like when shooting, the actor for Gentaro was just being told, more energy, give us more energy, you're pumped up. I don't even know what this guy does in the morning, but jeez. He seems really happy. A lot. Which can go to say to our next character, Yuki. Yuki is dubbed the most annoying side character in Kamen Rider history. Or the most annoying non-writer sidekick in the history of the show. Yuki's personality is way too cheery and bright. It's like, okay, I'm watching a show about evil monsters trying to take over the world. And these guys, Gentaro and Yuki, look like I'm watching My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. I'll make a joke somewhere where I do Wizard. Anyways. So Yuki's personality is more like bright and happy. She also has a talking puppet that is not named Ticket. and it's named Hayabusa-kun. Also, she has a really cutesy song to go with it. It's so cutesy that it even made it into the album. Both variations, that and its rock metal version. Or attempt at rock metal version. Yuki as a character doesn't really get much growth. She kind of becomes somewhat as a cheerleader for Fourze. Like, go! Fight, Fourze! You can do it! And sometimes she... like, the tension is building. So let's have it like this. When Meteor first appears and he's all like, I don't like you, Fourze. You're too happy. You don't really care. Me, on the other hand, I do what's necessary. And it's kind of intense. It's like, oh my gosh, guys! Like, what's gonna happen? Yuki, if you just shut the fuck up for 2 seconds, I think we can figure this out. Meteor hates Fourze. I think he wants to kick his ass. I'm sorry, Yuki, but you're just so damn annoying sometimes. But I do have to say she did come into her own by probably the end or the movie. In the movie, she does a little bit more than cheer people on. She kind of helps in the fighting. Oh, look at me, I'm actually shooting something, I'm doing something here. Even when we see her in the Wizard old movie, in the Wizard Fourze team-up movie, she does do a little bit of fighting. Which is good. I'm glad that at least we have a character that can fight back. Instead of one that just trips and falls all the time like a damn idiot. But I think Yuki's best moment to me was the Gemini Zodiac episode 2-parter. Basically, she is the Gemini Zodiac, but apparently the Switch's power... The Switch's power splits the person into two beings. One of good and one of evil. So, I'm a Gemini. If I had the Switch, I press it, it's going to be me, good me, there's going to be bad me. And bad me is going to do a lot of messed up shit, and maybe even have the Switch. And then, of course, frame the good person who does not know what just happened. That's where I feel like Yuki came into her own. She was like, look. She was like, give me back my identity. Give me back all my life. Give me back my friends. Give me back everything I had. And that was amazing. That was like an amazing, scene. I kind of liked her personal episode about that. That was pretty cool. So, yeah, it's Yuki who went to be annoying to Kengo, the most hard-ass character I think I can find in the show. He's a hard-ass. When we first meet him, he doesn't really even like Gentaro. Hell, Gentaro goes above and beyond, jumping off a ledge to go get a love letter that a girl wrote for him and deliver it to him to class. He went out of his way, people. And then, Kengo kind of did the whole, we'll never become friends. I don't like you. And then he leaves. Because he's sick. And apparently, according to all the teachers, it's been going on for a while. No one knows why yet. We're going to get to that point. So, basically, Kengo suffers from what the fans decide to call it space asthma. Why? Because originally he was supposed to be Fourze. Yeah, this is a Kabuto case here, people, where one person was supposed to be this rider, but it turns out to be another person. But it seems Gentaro's body can actually handle the stress of the suit. While Kengo's actually able to pilot the Power Dizer, this series giant mech, it's only used to back up Fourze until Meteor shows up. And if Kengo's piloting it, it doesn't really end well. Like I said, space asthma kicks in. So, but then I get a lot of... Then once, Gentaro and the show kind of move forward with the characters and stuff, Kengo kind of is still kind of an asshole to him. Even when Meteor arrives, it's still kind of like he's still a dick. He's still kind of being a dick to them. So, like in one episode, like in some episodes, it's always, Kisaragi, you're always an idiot! Stomp, stomp, slam. You're always ruining everything, Gentaro. Stomp, stop, slam. In one episode where we are introduced to the mag phone, the NS magnet switches, while trying to activate it, Gentaro must have pressed something and the switch went flying to God knows where. And then Kingo's like, Gentaro, you're such an idiot! Stomp, stomp, slam, I quit. But of course, next week and in the next episode, he doesn't quit and becomes friends with Gentaro. And he becomes full-on friends with Gentaro. Though I have to say this, he's kind of the anchor point. He's the anchor character. A character who kind of holds all the craziness down a little bit. You know, when everybody gets too crazy, Kengo tries to reason them with actual logic. We will find this out later when we find out that Kengo is something known as a presenter. It's not really much said. Some people say they're aliens, but I'm just gonna go say space god. Space gods. And that's basically why Gamma was trying to prepare the 12 evil switches. Because it will open the gate to the presenters. He'll go to presenters, and presenters are supposed to grant a wish. Of course, with Gamma being evil, he's going to destroy the world! But like I said, Kingo does really come into his own. He's the anchor point, and he is this serious character who dies, but then somehow comes back at the end. This trend started with Double. When Philip supposedly dies in the second to last episode, we see an entire episode where Shotaro has to be alone and use the Joker memory to fight. And at the end of the episode, oh, Philip came back. The same could be said for Kengo. He died and he came back. Moving on from Kengo, because we will discuss more of these characters in detail, some pros and cons, we're going to go on to the other members of the Kamen Rider Club. We're going to start off with Miu. That is spelled M-I-U. M-I-U. I don't know. Miu is not obnoxiously annoying, but she does have one thing that I do hate. Overused catchphrase. This is like whenever someone has a catchphrase and they use it too much. Like Steve Urkel's, "Did I do that?" to Arnold Schwarzenegger, "I'll be back." Her catchphrase is, "Oops, oops." She even says it in like rapid succession sometimes. "Oops, oops, oops." I'm like, okay. So what's her story? What's Miu's story? Her story is basically she's the cheerleader. She's a cheerleader at this high school and is obviously popular. Gentaro wants to become friends with her. She kind of accepts because there's obviously comedic timing. Gentaro slips, and of course she's like, "I'll never become friends with you. You're so stupid." And then Fourze had to save her from Chameleon Monster of the Week because Chameleon Monster was someone who was jealous of her beauty. Seems reasonable enough. She joins the team after, getting humbled, and we get one episode, part of an episode dedicated to her fan service. Her making a video for the beauty pageant where she's in a bikini and, fan service. But, and she's known as the queen of the school. She really went from being minorly annoying about, popularity to, I really care about what's going on. I care about Gentaro. I care about the club. I care about the planet. She started really caring about people. Even as the show progressed, she started to care more. But of course, every queen is not complete without a king, and that king will be Daimonji Shun. If she's the cheerleader, this guy is obviously the football player, because they play football in Japan. This guy had the courtesy of beating up Gentaro in episode 1, after Gentaro really just mopped the floor with a bunch of football players. Daimonji Shun is really a hard-headed character when we first meet him. He's not friending Fourze easily. He's not joining the club. He does fuck Fourze up a little bit. Yeah, he kind of screws up a mission, a fight. He grabs on Fourze and Fourze gets snagged or something. It was kind of a weird ending. So yeah, what's going on with him? Shouldn't even go to the point of hooking up with another girl because Mew joined up with the Kamen Rider Club. And apparently, according to him, they're losers. But of course, he's really is like a tough guy. He's really soft and like sad on the inside. Why? Because his father is kind of a douchebag. He has father issues, and the episode's resolved at the end. The episode is resolved at the end, and we do get to find out that Shun is actually able to pilot the power dizer by himself without no problems. Though every time I see him piloting it, it looks like he's constipated. It's like I don't know if he's piloting or taking a really, really hard dump. I don't know, and I really don't care. But that's what I call it how it is. And once Shun joins the club, he's kind of buddy with everybody. He's kind of romantically involved with Mew. He tries to be more romantic to her. It's kind of it's cute. It's cutesy, and they have their little moments of you're an idiot, you're a jerk, but it's cute. So the next character we're going to talk about is Jake. And that is spelled J-N-K. Like J-K. Just kidding. He is the, I'm just going to assume it's party animal, guy who plans parties. He's the party planner of the group. He's normally the person who tries to make the group more fabulous and fancy. So when we first meet him, he's kind of party hard guy. He gets Gentaro to a party. Oh, but he tricks him into stealing one of his switches. He steals one of his switches, and he's a dick about it. Oh, but it's okay. He gets a huge humbling when the monster of the week kidnaps him, and no one comes to save him, except for Gentaro, because he cares. He cares a lot for people. And that's really much we see of him. He is a great dancer. Though, if I have to say, he does have some pretty cool episodes. Like the Capricorn episode, we find out that Jake is a singer. But here's the thing. A lot of people didn't really like his singing because it kind of sounds like he's fucking tone deaf. But, it's all about heart, and that's what it was. That's why when you listen to the soundtrack, you may get two songs from Jake. There's one song he performs on the radio, a song that he performs on the radio again, but this time enhanced with Capricorn's mystic guitar, and a final song which he sings to I'm being humble and this is what I really am. To reveal himself as not a really good singer. He's a good dancer, and he does pull his own into a fight. He does pilot a power dizer himself, but that was a movie-exclusive time deal, so you don't get to see it too much. But he is really fashionable. I do give him that. His character development went from I don't want to be seen with you guys to okay, I care too. Yeah, you'll see a pattern with this. Everybody would have a point where they didn't care about the club to really caring about it towards the end. Especially when a lot of shit hits the fan. But enough about that. We'll get to that later. The next member to join is Tomoko. Now, everybody is kind of Tomoko's kind of it's cute. She's the adorable goth girl. She's the adorable goth girl of the group. Or I guess she's goth mystic medicine person of the group. Either that, I'm just really delusional sometimes. So, Tomoko's first appearance, she tries to join a cauldron of witches. Or a brood of witches? A Wiccan clan? I have no idea. Just know she tried to join a bunch of witches. Fake witches, no doubt, because magic's not real in this show. So, yeah, Tomoko tries to, become a witch. Doesn't work out. But here's an interesting fact. Tomoko was introduced in the first episode. She was A lot of the characters were introduced in the first episode, but this is really where we, go in a bit deeper. But in the first episode, she's actually the person who tells Gentro, "You're a Kamen Rider." So we're gonna put this on the table right now. So apparently, according to Tomoko, they live in the same universe as the other Heisei Riders. Super 1. Because when she shows, Gentro a bunch of clips, she shows the Futo windmill being destroyed by Eternal. She shows a bunch of clips of Kamen Rider Kuga fighting, a clip of Super 1, and a bunch of other riders. So Tomoko knows what a Kamen Rider is, basically. Also, she wins for having said the worst line, I think, in the show, which is, "You are a Kamen Rider! You shouldn't be fighting people!" Did your research not tell you about the 13 riders who brutally tried to murder each other? Especially there was one about an actual serial killer rider. Because, your research. But she is the goth girl, and she's kind of comes in as kind of funny and weird. She has the quirks, she'll, she'll be something super creepy, but it'll be funny. And that's the thing, the quirks either run out really fast in the show. Like I said, with Kengo going, "I hate you, stomp, stomp, slam." Muse, oops. Shun's, that really weird tone that this music makes when he does his salute. The salute is something I can't get really annoyed with. Because it's good job. Got it. It's his way of understanding. Back to Tomoko. Tomoko is really a cool character in a sense. When Ryusei joins the team, of course, that's when everybody's shipping. The shipping began. And I guess they became OTP because in the movie she does give him a big hug and she's kind of look at him "Oh, I haven't seen you in a while, Mr. Secret Agent." Should have grabbed some water for this. So, yeah. Tomoko is really cool. Ryusei's romantic interest. And sometimes voice of reason, if the plot needs her to be. The last teenage character to join the club is Ryusei. Ryusei, or Ryukun, or however you want to call him. He is this series' secondary writer. Kamen Rider Meteor. But as everybody else like to call him, Kamen Rider Bruce Lee. Because he is probably one of the few writers, I think, who takes Jeet Kune Do. And for people who don't know, Jeet Kune Do is the martial arts style invented by Bruce Lee. Ryusei gives off the Sixth Ranger second writer vibe from everybody. The "I work alone, I don't like you guys are too silly, I'm serious, I'm gonna transform when no one's looking." That was his whole gimmick. His whole gimmick was basically, I'm going to when danger happens, when Fourze is fighting, I'm gonna find a quick place to hide, transform into Meteor, and show up like a badass. And that's cool and all, but then, of course, like I said, it wears thin. Okay, the club needs to hurry up and find out that Ryusei's Meteor. We've already had a problem enough where no one can put two and two together with the teacher and Scorpio. Nobody can put two and two together with Meteor. It could be like this. Every time Ryusei disappears, Meteor always shows up. When Meteor disappears, Ryusei comes back. Strange. It's not really acknowledged much. Ryusei, however, Ryusei is one of the first writers, or one of the few writers, who have a controlled transformation. The transformation is controlled from space by his mysterious owner known as Tachibana, which is good because it's a good throwback to the original Kamen Rider. Tachibana is telling Meteor that this is your mission. Your mission is to go help Fourze destroy the Zodiarts, and that's pretty much it. But you have to keep your identity a secret. However, in one episode, that didn't work out, and Meteor can't transform. This means, so if anything were to happen to Tachibana, like later on in the show, Meteor has lost the ability to become a rider, meaning he could get his ass kicked by anyone. He could hold his own in a fight on Morphed, but how long before a bad guy of the week will just start shooting lasers at him? So that's pretty much what happens, and then of course Tachibana has a change of heart, and he's like, okay, you can be Meteor again. Which he got to work alongside Fourze. Yeah, Ryusei kind of loses his powers twice in the series. Once when his identity is found out, and once when he does the obligatory, where he kickstarts the whole process of getting a superpower, or the final form. What do I mean by that? Well, in every writer show, it seems like, the writer either has to lose his powers, die, or get hurt really, really bad in order to get this power up. So yeah, Meteor kind of kills Gentaro. He kills Fourze. And the worst way possible. It's not even like a fancy finisher. It's he one-inch punched him in the chest, and he stopped his heart. Yeah, so there you go. He freaking murdered him in cold blood. And of course, that's when everybody found out about the transformation. About him. Even Tomoko's kind of like, I don't believe you. We trusted you, and you did this to us. You know, the whole, we don't trust you. Oh, he's redeeming himself, now we trust you. Extra points because in that episode, where Cosmic States debuts, Gentaro's hair is down. It's like, it's not in the pompadour, it's down. I kind of like it. It means shit is about to get real. So that does it. Well, what am I saying? Doesn't do it for the characters. Ryusei's character grows over time. He went from being, this stereotypical secondary rider, Six Ranger character to being a cohesive member of the team to being a standalone hero to, a hero himself and a secret agent. It's really cool to watch Meteor on screen because his fight scenes are really well done. He doesn't have weapons unless he does Meteor Storm, and it's really nice to see like a lot of martial arts go into his fighting style. Gentaro is more street-based fighting, while Meteor is more kung fu based. It would have been nice to see him have more forms though, but beggars can't be choosers. So the adult characters. A lot of the adult characters in the show are either the bad guys of said episode or said saga, or they're just something to be comedic relief. So, Mr. Oshogi is really, really ditzy. I didn't like him as much when we first started the show because he was more like, Kisaragi, why are you always like breaking the rules? And if I had suspenders, snap. He will snap his suspenders. That will be his character trait. He would snap his suspenders. And even when he's bent, he's like, he snaps his suspenders around like a nutcase. But, okay, his other character quirk is he has a huge crush on one of the teachers, who was obviously the Scorpion Zodiac, but no one knows because is it odd that she disappeared right after Gentaro defeated the Zodiac? No? Just me? Okay. So Shogi doesn't really know much about the Moon Base, the Rabbit Hutch, or anything about the club until like an accidental mishap with the magphone makes him find out. He causes the club to disband for one episode and then builds it back up later on. Builds up next episode because plot convenience. Also, he serves as the school financial advisor. Or rather, the club's advisor. Because apparently, according to the rules, a club must have an advisor. Oh, boy. So, yeah, this show also has a good, maybe one or two tokusatsu appearances. Now Nagasawa, I can't remember the guy's name, but Comrade Garen from Blade. and Wolzar, who voiced the satellite for the movie, in the Space Qdine. Those are actual Tokusatsu heroes from very early on in Tokusatsu history. So that was pretty cool to see. So yeah, Oshogi's character was more or less like, like comedic. He was just there to play for laughs. He didn't really have anything serious to say. And with that being said, now we get on to our villains. Monsters of the Week, teachers, whatever. So we have Scorpio. Scorpio really has nothing interesting about her, other than apparently whoever has the switches, sometimes dependable on what switch you have, it could change your voice. Meaning Scorpio was, I'm Scorpio. And some of them have really high pitched ones, like the Gemini Zodiac, who was Yuki. So yeah, character gimmick was Scorpio kicked a lot. Did the Scorpion kick, will always land in the Scorpion stance, and bit it kind of early on in the show. Just saying. Then you have Virgo. Virgo is kind of like the spellcaster of the group. Yes, he is. It's a he. Virgo is a guy, and that's what you need to know for right now, because we'll get into major spoilers. Though I guess I should just write down in the description, because I just spoiled a bunch of major plot points. Oh well. So Virgo is kind of the spellcaster of the group, and also sends people to deep space prison or something, because that's what she does to every character who fail. They take their switch and they send them away. That's pretty much it. And whenever Virgo appears, Fourze and Meteors don't stand a chance. The next one will be Libra. Libra is an illusionist. He likes to play tricks on people. He likes to do mind games. Libra is Kamen Garen here. And first Zodiac that Ryusei, aka Kamen Meteor, fights when his debut episode. It's cool to see something like that, because he doesn't appear too much in the show. But like when he does appear, he kind of like, puts up a good fight. He's not being like, thrown around. Okay, that was kind of weird. And I like his design. It's kind of like a weird shell thing. We also now have Sagittarius, who is Gamo. Gamo is the chairman of the school, and he is by far the toughest bad guy to face, because he is the final boss. He shoots arrows, and dependable on how many arrows you shoot, it really doesn't matter, because our heroes get dehensioned in 5 or so arrows and Meteor in 1 shot. Because proof of power. We also have Leo. Leo is best described as Meteor's foil. He's basically someone who can hold his own with Meteor, both unmorphed and both unhinged and henshined. Because he does kind of take up a martial arts style himself. It's nice to see something like that, and it really did pay off when Meteor actually finished the job and defeated him. Also, this guy Leo was in the nuts. His whole thing was like he would grab nuts and go and crack them. And that's all he does. That was his character gimmick, and he didn't do it much. He will play around with it, and then he goes, breaks it, and let it fly to the wind. Other noteworthy, bad guys, because some of them did have some cool storylines. Aquarius, the Aquarius Zodiac. So the Aquarius Zodiac was basically a girl who really wasn't in the best of she wasn't that happy. Or rather, she was a first year student who believed Like, all the seniors are gonna hurt her and, be mean to her and shit. So, there you go. Because when you do see her, it's kind of like, okay, it's kind of scary to see something like that happen. And then Aquarius gets like one of the kind of a weird send off, because it's more or less Fourze and her battle in the rain. Fourze goes cosmic, finishes the fight, ends, and she kind of has like a normal life afterwards. There's Pisces and Musica. Pisces was a girl named Ran, and Musica was a guy named, who I can't remember his name. I think his name is Hikaru. Their whole thing was they are trying to protect one another. So when he was Musica, the whole thing was like he wanted to protect her from getting hurt. But Ran apparently could take care of herself because she always kept flipping Gentaro every time he grabbed her shoulder. But when Ran became Pisces, she only did it to defend everybody, become a hero. Even if it did mean at the cost of getting hurt. Oh boy. Some other noteworthy things we could talk about with the Zodiacs here is some of them actually do have a thing called Supernova. Supernova will allow them to become stronger, bigger, whatever the plot demands. And it's pretty cool to look at. It's pretty cool to look at, and it's pretty epic to watch, to see the fights. Another Zodiac we should talk about is Capricorn, because Capricorn led Jake into doing something that I didn't think was possible in the series. Fourze lost the ability to go cosmic. It's not like cosmic is a dangerous switch or anything. The whole thing about this was Gentaro's, or apparently the switch's power, was powered by friendship. And when Jake kind of left the team, it kind of felt like he was betraying his friends. And of course, cosmic doesn't work. Tachibana makes him undergo some training to where it's all like, you shouldn't even have friends. Friends are evil and they'll deter you. Okay, that's kind of weird, but okay, training montage too. So, yeah. So, as we get closer and closer to our pros and cons, there is one more character I should discuss, because she is important, and she is also our third writer, Nadeshiko. Nadeshiko is Kisaragi's girlfriend, basically. In the movie Wars Ultimatum, he befriends her, but he feels like there's something more than that. Like, they can be more than friends. But last, evil organization Foundation X kidnapped her, turned her into space goo. Oh, but it's okay. In the next movie, she runs into another movie-based character and was able to restore her to her original body. And then we got to saw Weirdy Nazuman. And really, as a writer, she has a really odd belt. It's the same driver as the Fourze driver, but it doesn't use as much switches. Plus, she doesn't really use them much. I mean, all she does is kick, punch, and hit people with her butt. Yeah, it's like boom, boom, butt hit, throw, butt hit, split, an epic pose that will show off my nice ass. Just saying. And that's basically all our characters and villains. Gamo himself, I guess I could say, because he doesn't have much depth. It's just, I'm evil, I want to, go to Presenter and make the wish, but I gotta make everything look kind of normal. That's all there is to him. So I guess I can talk about pros and cons of the show. Things I liked, things I didn't like. Some things I did like. The designs of the characters and Fourze's states. I say if I have to choose the states that I did like Cosmic, it was the well-designed, Plus, it kind of shows off what a final form looks like. Plus, it also has the whole an all our powers combined ability, to where he can use every switch by just touching his chest every which way, which is cool. And also extra points for mixing and matching. The monster of the week, the Zodiarch, are amazing to look at. It's like, okay, I like looking at the Hercules Zodiac. I like looking at Scorpion. I like looking at Virgo. I like looking at every character. It's amazing. Another thing, I do love the life lessons the show gives. Friendship, and you can have, and your friends doesn't need to be like a certain group of people. You can be friends with anyone. I mean, hell, he befriended that guy in the Amazon rainforest. I mean, what else can you do? Ay, and I'm tired. So, another thing I did like was some of the plot lines. Some of the episode plots did have some really cool moments. If I want to say, I like Jake's episode where the unicorn Zodiac kind of kidnaps him, and he's like, make a call to all these people, and of course it's an awakening because no one's going over there to save him except Fourze, because the plot demands it. And I love how every character went from I don't like you to you grow to like certain characters. I don't know, I kind of grew a bit longer to like Yuki and Mew because they were kind of annoying in their own selves, but I kind of got used to it. Another middle ground will be Nao Nagasawa. Apparently she's been exerting herself in a lot of tokusatsu lately, either as promotion for Hurrikenja or just because she's Nagasaga. That's all I gotta say. She's been inserting herself way too much here. I'm gonna take a nap after this because I did a lot for this review. Thinking of writing notes and stuff. Another point I would like to make is the music for the show. The music, the OST soundtrack, more or less likely, I would like to say, is really good. I do like its music. I do like the dark tones some of the music have. Some of it has very bright, like, upbeat personality. Some have really low, like, okay, this is where you're supposed to be serious. This is when you're supposed to be sad. The actual music soundtrack is nothing to be too impressed by. It's not really much. You don't get a song from a character except Jake. And you only have, basically, form songs. So these are all songs used for every form that Fourze had, even Cosmic. Best song I will have to say is Cosmic Mind. Cosmic Mind is the best form song. The theme song is really, really upbeat. It's kind of like what high school is, upbeat. The beat will start slow, and then it will get kind of faster, and then it gets both to crescendo, goes, falling action, crescendo again. It's a good song all the way through. You should listen to it. Now we're going to go to things I didn't like. Some of the characters' personalities. Characters like Yuki, who is really bubbly, is someone I didn't really like. And if Yuki would have just stayed quiet for a few seconds, we could have gotten more out of the plot. Like I said before, when Meteor and Fourze are having a stare down, she's like, oh my gosh, guys, what are we going to do? Like, dude, you kind of feel like you're killing a moment here. Mew's personality was still kind of like popular girl-ish. Preppy girl, and, she said her catchphrase is, oops, 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 oops. It's kind of like, she is the club's president, she does fight, but it's kind of like, okay, the gimmicks kind of run out real fast for the characters. So whatever, like, a character will have, that's his gimmick, it's wearing thin every episode. Like, oh, Tomoko and Ryusei. Except for that kind of was okay because the Tomoko Ryusei thing is kind of like how a crush should develop. It's not like I see you and I want to be with you now. Yeah, boy. So, another thing I didn't really like too much is how the show kind of ended. Well, another thing I didn't like was the fact that Ryusei was a writer with revenge issues. I mean, we've seen Axel do it, and Axel is way better. His whole family was killed. This was like, okay, his friend was given a switch by the Aries Zodiac. He presses that switch, dies, and that's how he went on, and that's how Hikari became on the Rainbow Line. I joke, but his actor, yeah, the actor playing Meteor's friend is actually Hikari from Tokyuger. Small world in the Tokusatsu universe. It is a small world in the Tokusatsu universe. And that's basically all Meteor's plan was. It wasn't to help Fourze, it was just more or less find the Aries Zodiac, kill him, and I quit. That's my mission. But of course, he grows, and trains and becomes better. Movie-based stuff being actually used. Movie-based form. This is something I actually do like and I kind of hate it. Because this was back when the movie wasn't subbed and I had no fucking clue about it. So, for instance, Fourze in the movie, in Ultimatum, he has a switch known as the Super Rocket. The Super Rocket gives him all rocket formation, which is, he basically has two rocket hands. And apparently he drained the power of the switches when he used its final attack on the Galaxy King in the movie. But it makes its way back to do some kind of training exercise, and that's the last we see of it. That's kind of what I hate about it. It's kind of like a one-shot deal. Kengo's whole issue with Gentaro. Whatever character seemed to have solved everything in 2 episodes, it took a long time for him to accept it. I hate you, Kisagi, stomp, stomp, slam. I should have been Fourze, stomp, stomp, slam. Well, I guess we can't blame him. Base asthma. And the fact that his father was killed by Gamo. So that's another thing you should know. Kengo's father developed the Fourze belt. We have no clue who developed the Meteor belt. We sure as hell have no clue who developed Nadeshiko's belt. But why do we have the feeling that it's probably someone who does have an actual driver? Who knows? Maybe that'll be brought up in a later thing. Fourze is not that popular with people. A lot of people say it's too kid-friendly. It's too kiddie. And I do have to say I agree with them, but only by a certain extent. The show's second half does get a bit dark, and especially towards the end where, okay, Kengo dies, Rabbit Hutch is destroyed, things look like it's lost. It's like a big thing. Another thing I should say I didn't really like, but I do like, is the music. The soundtrack. Wish we would have played more of it, but you know how it is with writer music. You gotta, get it on your iPod and, play it a bunch of times. Kamen Girls do make an appearance in this, in the soundtrack. They do sing a song called it's like the graduation song from the ending of the show. The ending is very cliched. Okay, Ryusei and Leo faced off. That was pretty badass. Gentaro befriends the principal, befriends Gamu. I knew that was coming. I knew that Kengo was going to be alive. I saw that coming. I felt it was more cliched ending. It should have ended like Wizard, where what you thought was going to happen didn't really happen. The ending was okay. Cliche, like I said. And the ending credits was more of where are they now, what are they doing? Kisaragi is still befriending people, Yuki's going to try to go into space, Kengo's going to research the presenters, Tomoko and Ryusei are oh, so that girl at your old school is not your girlfriend? No. And to make a joke here, no. I mean, I'm not marrying anybody who has a kid who was older than her. Shinkenger joke. Well, I digress. Yeah, Ryusei and Tomoko kind of get romantic towards each other. and Mew and Shun negate, and Shun proposes to Mew. But then, out of nowhere, time for my placement in the show. I have an awesome magic ring. I'm eating donuts now. Because that's what I'm going to be doing the entire series. And then Mew's all like, I want his ring! And goes after him. And goes after poor Haruto. Who's all like, what the hell? So it's kind of like a big where are they now kind of thing. But of course we'll get more of that in Wizard. Now we're going to go into like movies and specials. The movie for Fourze is really good. I actually enjoyed it. Things I didn't like, though. There were things I didn't like. But first, let's get to the plot. The plot of this movie is, it doesn't have to do with Zodiarts. Basically, a giant satellite is going to fucking crash into Earth, and it's up to our heroes to stop it. But wait! There's a mysterious secret agent. There's a really hot secret agent chick with big tits. That's only because I didn't realize that was the girl from Cutie Honey Alive. Don't ask. Okay? Maybe I like to watch the Midnight Tokus from time to time. I watch Garo. Yeah, I'm dark like that. And her robotic sidekick known as the Black Knight, who likes to put Meteor in a torture hold. So yeah, it's also the first time we get to see all 12 in one place. But of course with that, this is where we get our I'm here to do my cameo. It's Wizard. Like, holy shit, it's Wizard. Something else I should point out. Wizard doesn't even also go by the name Kamen Rider for some unbeknownst reason. This has something to do with, in this case, what Ryusei has said is you shouldn't just be throwing the name around like willy-nilly. Like, not many people should know what a Kamen Rider is. It's like, we're Kamen Rider Double. But, you know, Shotaro himself said, look, you shouldn't throw the name of a rider around like willy-nilly. Just because you're a Kamen Rider doesn't mean you always fight for justice. So that's why some people will say, like, oh, that's why he's known as the ring-bearing wizard. That's not why he's called a Kamen Rider. But, you know, he kind of comes in on his own. It's really nice to see Wizard's abilities firsthand in the movie. It's nice. We all know the special effects. CGI was kind of blown for Wizard scene and the final fight scene, and it's really cool to see that. Something that I didn't really like. The movie had the whole, like, twist. So the entire movie I knew the bad guys were the space Kyodyne. So I go, it's kind of odd. So where are these bad guys? Oh, surprise, it was actually the two human characters who wanted you to go destroy a satellite because said satellite wasn't going to crash into the Earth. It was going to, like, orbit or some shit. And because you just destroyed the... Yeah, basically what they did was they tricked the Rider Club into, like, injuring a satellite. Which get Kisaragi all emotional because, by God, if he does not befriend this thing, he will blow up. And it leads to one of the most brutal beatdowns I've ever seen in a Rider show. I mean, damn, Meteor and Fourze get, like, thrown around like ragdolls. But it does pay to see the other club members, like, fighting. Though, whoever shot this movie kept doing a lot of weird tease moments with Mew's skirt. Like, Mew will do a turn, and it's a shot of the skirt twisting in the wind. Like, am I supposed to be turned on by this? Like, oh, that's almost a rope skirt shot. That's kind of what I'm seeing. But she does pilot her own power geyser, which is really cool to see. Inga Blink in the Black Knight. I do like Inga Blink. Black Knight, I kind of felt bad for because he was kind of... It's kind of funny, though, because you actually find out... When you find out through looking up the series that the Black Knight is actually a villain. The Black Knight was actually the villain to the Space Kyodyne and gets destroyed. Would have been nice to see Black Knight get his revenge, but you know how it is. Fourze. Also, this movie debuts the fusion switch. This switch is activated once all of their 40 switches are pressed at the exact same moment. This I had a problem with. A lot of people seem to have a problem with this movie, that scene in the movie. It was like, here, you gotta push the switch for Yuntaro. Meanwhile, oh god, we're getting our asses kicked. Fourze, why aren't you doing your kung fu thing? The Koidan is just like kicking the shit out of me. He keeps kicking me in the dick. Press the switch for Yuntaro. Oh god, we're being thrown in the boxes. Generic boxes, it's gonna crumble on us. Press the switch, and then, of all people, I swear to God, in every Kamen Rider movie, it's always like an establishing shot of all the villains like the writer has met. When doing this, they were giving all the switches to all the characters who were the Zodiarts. But the last person you would expect to do this is Gamu. Like, Chairman, you gotta press it. Does anybody not realize the problem here? Leo's standing right there. All Gamu has to do is get the switch to Leo, throw the switch somewhere. Oh, Fourze is screwed, and we can take over the planet now. That should have been like, switch on. Everybody but him. Nope. Oh god, they got me in a chokehold. I can't fight. I'm screwed. I mean, it went on way too long. And the time it took everybody to go around and get the switches, Gentaro and Ryusei would have been killed 5 times over. I mean, what? The X thing they do in the movie is kind of like, X beam fire. Fuck. Dead. And Tomoko will still be a virgin. I'm sorry, that was kind of mean. Though the movie kind of ends on a really fun... Although we do get like fusion like form, and it's really cool. Because it's a fusion of Meteor's Kung Fu gear for the storm form, and his suit, and then the cosmic sword. It's cool to see like the finisher is like a giant rider kick, and then it's a second kick that goes into Meteor's kick. It's Fourze kick that goes into Meteor's kick. Just put it like that. And we do get the whole like funny. There's a funny scene where Oshogi meets his twin brother. Oh, and Inga Blink kind of like tells Ryusei like, "Oh, you're a good kid. You should join up with me sometimes." And she kind of kisses him on the cheek, like, cute. And she's wearing like, she's trying to be all hot and cute and stuff. And then Tomoko's like, "I don't play that shit. Get your lips off my man." And of course she gives Ryusei a cold shoulder. She's like, "Fuck you, Ryusei." And it's like, the fuck did I do? Like, what did I do? Come on. But the movie was a good hit. I love everybody's training montage. I love how Ryusei's like kind of teaching Tomoko how to like do Jeet Kune Do. It's like, you gotta twist and twist and twist and twist and feel the burn. And it's the pelvic thrust that drives you insane. Good movie. I enjoyed it. The team-up movie for this was kind of awesome as well. It was nice to see all the other writers again. It's nice to see, Double, O's, and Fourze in one movie. The bad guys for this movie is still Foundation X, and we get 2 movie-exclusive forms for this movie. We get Double Rocket form, and we get Super Tatoba, which it hasn't been explained yet, but from what we know, it's a force from the future. It's a form from the future, and apparently that is something that has to do with the Tatoba Yummy. So apparently we're going to get more stories in those soon. Ankh returns, but it's very short. We do get a new Kamen Rider, but he doesn't appear for the final fight. Movie's okay. Final thoughts on Fourze. Fourze is a really good series. I suggest giving it a watch. Ignore what people say about the show being kiddie. It's very kiddie at points, but it does know how to ramp up its serious factor. Be weary of like a lot of things involving like, be weary. Don't be too, going in it like it's going to be like an amazing Kamen Rider. It's meh. And if the jokes aren't for you, the jokes aren't for you. Really, you're not at fault here. Whoever wrote the show, the writer of the show itself, kind of made all these characters quirks, and it was kind of terrible for some of them to have because some of them just contradict their character, or it was just way too damn annoying. Oh, that's kind of weird. Anyways, so with that, my final score to give to Fourze is 7 out of 10. Good show, could have been better, minus all the quirks. To rate the movie isn't 9 out of 10. Really cool, but really wish we didn't have to go through that ridiculous whole double agent thing. Movie Wars Ultimatum, 10 out of 10. It's really awesome, you should see it. It's cute. Fourze's storyline is very cute. With that being said, Knight Rider 7602, signing out.